Namaste, good afternoon. A very, very warm welcome to our special guest today. Myself, I'm Mansi Dhulakia, the GMH Foundation founder and chairman. And we are today to welcome Maharaj Kumar Sahib Lakshraj Singh Ji Mewar of Udaipur. He's the trustee of Maharana of Mewar Charitable Foundation. Sir, a very, very warm welcome to you to our suicide prevention series, Let's Speak Up.
Thank you so much. That's most kind of you. Thank you for having me. Not that I'm an expert, but it's lovely to be able to be associated with this subject because this is certainly something that is very close to my heart. And what do you call it? This is something that we need to propagate, especially in our nation where you hear the younger ones giving up on life. And what can be done, especially with having two institutions with almost about 4,000 children in them. So this is something that we internally keep talking about and making sure that how we can focus on this on an everyday basis and not just a day basis, So it's something which goes on 365 days to have an eye on all of this, because that's one of the most precious things that we've got, and we need to learn to respect it.
Right, absolutely. So very well said, sir. So I'm just going to dive straight into our questions for the day. The first question I come to you with is, since this is a suicide prevention awareness month, our aim through this series is to reach out to all kinds of audience and to promote a message of hope, because that can be lost somewhere through the trials and tribulations and challenges that people go through in their everyday lives, and the pandemic hasn't helped either. So what do you think that can be done on a grassroots level to spread this kind of awareness?
So, first and foremost, I certainly feel that it's not an issue that is to be restricted for 1 month. I certainly feel that these are parents, teachers, people in responsible posts, positions, scenarios, situations who need to take ownership of this for life. It's not something that I can do for 1 day or 1 hour or 1 minute or 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. It is something that needs to be done for one entire lifetime. So, so for us to be all aware, for us to be on our toes as far as these things are concerned, is certainly our sense of responsibility that we need to have. And obviously, to keep out on such things in our own environment, we have our own bubble that is there. We have our own children, we have our relatives, we have friends, we have our family. So there is an interesting dynamic of people that are already around us who we are already used to. So what we are really looking out there to be able to promote these sort of things is to be able to let them know what it is that what we need to really look out for. So symptoms is certainly one thing that we really need to look out for, that if anybody is changed in their regular behavior on a day-to-day basis, if they're being odd, they're being reclusive, they're not talking, they're going into a shell. So, these are the sort of things that one needs to be able to let them know. So if these sort of things are happening, obviously communications need to be heightened, conversations with them need to be heightened. So we really need to move towards prevention. And this is not something that is going to happen overnight. This is somebody is not going to start feeling like that in literally 5 seconds. It's obviously something that what study has told us, what we have read, what we have understood about it, is obviously something that goes on for a slightly prolonged period of time. And you are able to see the symptoms that are going to be coming out there, provided that you have your eyes and ears open towards it. So that is what one has to take responsibility for. One has to have their eyes and ears open, and I think the entire point is to be aware.
I agree. So when you talk about symptoms, now as you know, GMH Foundation has been doing the anxiety and depression awareness free campaign for schools and universities across the country. In past 6 months, we have addressed more than 40,000 students across the country in various universities. Just for this reason itself, what you mentioned today, that people should understand the symptoms. Even if you're going through anxiety yourself, you need to understand the symptoms so that you know that it is normal and it is okay not to be okay all the time. That brings me to my next question, that do you think we can promote mental well-being via our education system? How can schools or universities help in this regard? Because through our foundation, we have been passionately advocating for a holistic curriculum. And I think with the NEP policies that have come into place now, it might be easier for us to advocate for this for the future. Maybe it can change the paradigm of education for the future. So what are your thoughts on that?
No, absolutely. I think schools and universities and those hubs are absolute key areas where such things are going to be picked up on, and I certainly feel there are two ends to it. One is your home segment, and one is the school or the university segment that needs to keep an eye out on all of this. So those are obviously exceptionally important roundabouts that I call them, because that's one roundabout that one goes to mostly every day, and home is obviously another space where one is. So these are the two main areas where people need to be aware. And as I said, nothing is going to change, but these are areas where people are somewhat academically, intellectually, emotionally intelligent. So, or you would hope or expect them to be. And their children dealing skills are heightened as compared to others, because they're dealing with thousands of children on a regular basis. So they are aware of what the children's behaviors are like and what their attitude is like on a regular basis, and they end up knowing them, especially your class teachers or your subject teachers who deal with you every day. So the pyramid literally just narrows down. So there are people who would start knowing all those people on a one-to-one, be it friends, be it teachers. So it's just not one responsibility of the institution in isolation. It's also the rest of the children who are around them as well, because they are carriers of information. So and if they do feel that, I think the idea is also to educate those friends and those other children in class, that if you find your behavior of your friend or subordinate or colleague a little off, it's important that either you let the psychologist know or you let the class teacher know, so that they can at least bring up the subject and start speaking to them, because I think talking to those individuals is certainly the most important thing to do. So, and the responsibility of Buck shouldn't just stop with one person or a organization. It is everybody's collective responsibility, and which is, and I also feel that sometimes the junior most people, be it the conductors of the bus, be it the bus driver, sometimes they share a more closer, deeper bond with the students as well. And sometimes children coming by auto, you still find them in third-tier cities or second-tier cities that people are still using that facility. So people also have to go out of their comfort zone as well, and you got to have a get-together of all the auto people. So that's also your community building of being able to come in and let them know that when those people or children are there, to keep an eye out, because awareness is going to begin when the person knows what they need to look out for. So be it your school administrative staff, be it your support staff of the school that is there, where they're interacting with those people, be it in the canteen or cafe, or be it at the tuck shop, or just be it regularly people who are there working and giving a helping hand out in the school. So, the children have a separate bond with those as well. So, so to be able to get them together, make them sit down for a cup of tea, maybe 15, 20 of your people who are there, or in terms of hands on deck, to inform them that this is what they really need to look out for. अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो संस्था को या अध्यापक को, किसी को जो है इन चीजों के बारे में उनकी इतला जरूर दी जाए. But till the time we don't tell them this, they will also not know. They will also see the information, absorb the information, and just sit down. So you also have to, the school also has to motivate them, the teachers also has to motivate them, the management also has to motivate them to be able to pick up on all of this and share, the ideas for them to find an answer and then come to you. Even if the jigsaw is not full or complete, the fact of the matter is that whatever piece of the puzzle that they may have found, the idea is to pass that piece on to somebody who may know where it may fit, may or may not know, but obviously being able to take that piece elsewhere, the probability of it fixing somewhere will go higher. So, the idea is to be able to make sure that you are there in a position to be able to avert a disaster from taking place. And so this is the way, and there has to be a sense of purpose. If there is no sense of purpose within this, and especially with what is going on now, especially what you're reading with what WHO is saying, what you call earlier mental illness was not considered a disease. Now the science community, the medicine community has finally recognized this as a disease. So, so these are things that must not now be taken lightly, laughed upon. Depression is not something that is just to be saying, being made fun of. So, those are sort of things that may have happened 20, 30 years ago, and one may have got by with it. But today, in today's context, in today's scenario, in today's situation, it's not the same thing like how it used to be. Now, these things do require kitten gloves. They require softer hands, softer emotions to be dealt with. And that sense of responsibility needs to be inculcated in everyone. So I think the the part of educating them towards this subject is also very, very important. So
very rightly said by sir. I think I love, sir, what you said about social responsibility of mental well-being. So it is not just the responsibility of any one particular organization or school or any mental well-being organization. I think it's a collective responsibility. So with having said that, we move on to the next question. What has served as personal motivation in your life, sir? You were born in a royal family, so you must have had traditions, etiquettes, and a lot more responsibility to shoulder on from a very young age. So, how do you keep yourself self motivated?
I think motivation is certainly something that you get from within as well. I think that's something that is has to be born within you. You got to kind of lift your spirits, and also you absorb it from your environment. So when things are taking place around you, so maybe small things, big things, it really doesn't need to be something which has to be mammoth or in size has to be large. Sometimes it's just smaller things in life that give you a lot of joy. And my basic inspiration and my motivation comes from the armed forces. So whenever you are there, down and out and low, that is one institution or one organization that you look up to, and you feel what you call that how in difficult times, in difficult scenarios, they not only gather courage, but also put their life on the line. Now you cannot get a better sense of motivation from there, and I don't think that when we are coming across situations are anywhere close to what they may be putting themselves to, and if they can do it, then certainly we in our limited capacity of what we may be going through can do so as well. So
Right.
if you idea is that when there is tension, you come into attention. That is my formula, being able to deal with it. So rather than being in tension and just worrying and crumbling yourself down and putting all that weight on top of you and everything and all of that, the moment that happens, the idea is that, okay, fine, now that is an alert for you to get attention. So once you get into attention, then you can start taking on one issue at a time, handle those issues at a time, and kind of try and make progress. And my simple philosophy, which I've always maintained and acted upon, done as well, and something that I mention and suggest or say or share, is the fact that सोच को इतनी गहरी मत करो कि फैसले कमजोर होने लग जाए. So that's when you don't need to do something when you start getting into reverse gear. Think enough or think strongly enough, which is going to make you go progress in life ahead and not make you go back in life.
Absolutely. Very, very well said, sir. Fantastic messages. Coming to our last question. We lose one life to suicide every 40 seconds, sir. So, like, even before we have completed a sentence, a life has been lost in the world. Those are the statistics. Now, coming to the youth of India, 70% of the youth currently is going through anxiety and depression symptoms in the country. So, we feel very strongly that you, being a youth icon as well, your message to the youth in these uncertain times about when they are feeling lost or anxious about the future, because the pandemic hasn't helped all of these situations. And I think that is why the numbers are multiplying so much as well, because they are very unaware about the future. They are very, there's a big question mark as to, because the studies have gone back. They have not been able to, catch up on what they thought that they would be doing in their lives. So when there comes a pause in life, it becomes hard for people to deal with. So what would be your message to that?
See, what I say in such scenarios, I say is that think about things around you, your loved ones, your family, your friends, your relatives, people who are really out there, what you will be putting them through for the rest of their life for your own selfish interests. So the idea is that if you really care for them, if you really think for them, if you really look out for them, the idea is not to take your life, but the idea is to keep it and to be able to share it and discuss it. If you can go to that extent of taking away your life, rather than showing that sort of action, the idea to be able to show action is towards to be able to communicate. So use that energy rather than taking on your own life. Use that energy to be able to taking on that problem and trying to solve it, which is going to be causing less harm to yourself and obviously to everybody else that is around you. And just if you are being able to gather that kind of courage to be able to take the life out of you, I'm sure that you can take that courage to be able to talk to those people as well. So, between the two, when you put that down on a weighing scale, to be able to talk to somebody is a far lesser sort of encouragement or a damage that is going to be required as compared to taking on your own life.
Absolutely, sir. So very well said, and thank you so much for that beautiful message. With that, we bid goodbye to sir, and thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you so much for having me on it and enlightening me on certain things that I was not aware of as well. So perhaps I've also gone back more informed with this conversation, and hopefully one will try and implement that in our limited way in our environments and our areas as well, to be able to do our bit and contribute towards making sure that we all and all the lives that are the most precious things that are available to us stay safe.
Yes, absolutely, sir. So, like I said in the conversation as well, through our foundation, we have been trying to raise this mental well-being awareness, especially for students all around the country, because we feel that, in the curriculum, certain things need to be instilled in them from a very young age. And that will also help reduce these number of suicides or, number of all these anxiety and depression that they lead to eventually. अगर ये छोटी उम्र से सिखाया जाए, then it can make a huge impact for the future generations. So that is our small attempt. So yeah.
I'm glad. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So I think that the first step is most important. So which certainly has been taken today and very firmly. So I'm sure that will reach somewhere in saving some lives, which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your constant support.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Any students who are watching this, please feel free to write to us. Our psychologist will reply to you free of cost, 24/7. With that, I end this episode, and keep watching and subscribing to our channel to see more such interaction.